Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to share with you the Playwright and how to test your APIs using Playwright. Okay, so the Playwright is a framework, a test framework from Microsoft itself. So if you click on get started, it will tell you how to install the Playwright. Okay, so Playwright has a very strong support for the Node.js, so you can use that on it exactly. So if you install the Playwright, this is the command you have to use to install the Playwright. Okay, so there are different things in the Playwright. You can test your UIs as well with the Playwright, but what we will do today is we will use the Playwright to test our APIs. And if you go into this section, the guide section, there is a full section for API testing for the Playwrights exactly. And they have guided you how you can use the Playwright. Also, there is also another section called get started with the VS Code, and VS Code itself has given a video for how to use this inside the VS Code. Okay, and that is what we are also using. We are also using VS Code and how to test the APIs using that. Okay, so first we go to the project folder. Here is the project folder, and if this is my project folder, and this is a very simple basic registration and login API using the Node.js and Express. And you can see the APIs is here. The first one is the health API, which tells me the health of the application. The second one is the registration API, which takes the username and password and email ID of a person and finds this out if it's already registered, otherwise it's registered itself. I'm using MongoDB in the behind exactly, and this is the login API obviously, and this login API does the login things, and the me API, the auth me API, which gives me the return of whatever details I have put in for my information using the token, and I am running the system on 3000 port exactly. So this is a very simple Express.js um, project. Now the thing is that how will you get started? So if you wanted to get started with this, first you have to install the package, and then you have to click create a auth specific.js. You can name it anything. I have just given you the auth specific because I want to test the authentication of the project exactly. So this is what it's I have given here some useful comments on this project so that you can start using them or know them where they are being used and how they are being used. Okay, so first you have to use the package, and then test.describe is the starting point of this testing. So test.describe, it takes a name and a return function which contains all your tests. Okay, so this is an auth specific JS. You can use user specific JS, you can use category specific JS, you can use any JS. Means whichever section you are choosing, you are creating a test case for this exactly. So now in the registration part, you can see I have got some unique data, and then I have put in a username and password over here. So the first test is, so test.describe is the main function where inside each of the test cases are written. The test cases are of parameters are two. So first one is the register login get profile. This is the name of the test and the return function in which you are using, and the third one would be the optional function. So there are two test cases written: register login and get profile. So I am testing the entire application over here. So getting the first the registration. Okay, so I'm giving the user path here, I'm giving the API path over here, I'm doing the data is coming from this section actually, the user section, and I'm exporting the status to v201. I'm getting a response over here, and I'm telling that to have the property ID, and also that response email should be matching my email. Okay, so this is how you can write your registration test case. Now, if you go to the login one, if you go to the duplicate test case, so in the duplicate registration, I'm checking with the same username and password, the same email ID, and responding things out to 409. Okay. Now in the login section, you can see the login, and I'm doing the login with the same credential, and the token to be true and response status to be 200. Okay. And after that, I'm getting my response. I'm exporting that response. I'm getting the response, and me.email should be user.email. Export me.name should be user.name. So I'm matching everything over here. And then the base URL for me, I'm just accessing without a bearer token here. Just testing that if I am accessible to that me API without a token. Exactly. Now after that, I'm doing a login failure with a wrong password test. Exactly. So I'm giving a wrong password over here and then testing out that thing. Okay. When this API is started. So the password is not generated from here. The password is something different. I'm testing out things and I'm getting the response out, and I'm also getting the JSON, and error is invalid credential. Okay. So let's start and run the test. Okay. There are few different way you can run the test, and if you open my package.json file, you will understand that there are three different way you can run the test. Okay. So the first one is the CLI mode, the second one has a UI mode, and the third one is the report mode. Okay. So if you go into this section and if you open the CMD on this section, exactly, and if you run that npm start, it's actually starting the application. So my application is running. I quit the application. I run npm test. Now it's testing the application and it's running the both of the test. And if you have 10 files, right, if you have 10 files like auth, user, category, projects, everything in the same folder, it will run all the tests by this single command, npm test. Exactly. Now if you wanted to show your client a report to that to that uh, to be submitted, it will also give you a report of that. So how will you get a report of this? Npm run and then test report, and it will generate a report. To open this file, you can run this command. Exactly. And if you run this command, it will open the file in localhost and where it is. So if you click on this, it will show you all the details. Okay, what are pass, to pass, failed, skipped, what are the things are, before hook, after hook, every details has been stored in this information. So it is a very good process to give to your clients if they want a report of your testing APIs. Exactly. Okay. The third one is that, so I quit this out, and also I wanted to mention here is that if you go, you can see the test has been generated in this folder, and the report has been also been stored. You are just watching this report. If you run this HTML, it will show you the same thing exactly without that separation. Exactly. So if you go into this section, now the third part is that you have a live UI mode where you can test it and get the information right away. Okay. So npm run, and if you go as the test UI mode, and you can see all your test cases are here, and if you see the auth API is something that is over here, and you have mentioned the auth API. So inside that auth API there are two test cases, two APIs to be tested. The first one is the register, login and get profile. If you run this one, it's running the same information step by step, action before after. And if you have mentioned before after, metadata, meta informations, everything will be getting into this section. So the first test case, is running. The second one, you can run right this again. It's actually doing the process again. So in this UI, it is also very helpful to get, so if you have a very complex project which has much of the cases like registration, login, categories, profiles, username, password, everything. So this will be very handy for you people to get access to things, errors, networks, how the login. So the login has been failed with 404, and if you go, you can see the status code for unauthorized. So you are checking the APIs bit by bit. Exactly. So this is something very small amount of information that I'm sharing. I'm doing the test cases right with my APIs in the production servers. So I thought it would be very good idea to share it with you. There are a lot of things here, and there are with the extension, with the Chrome extension, auto writing, mock APIs. There are mock APIs as well, so you can create mock APIs as well. So those APIs are not the APIs, but these APIs will help you to understand how the system will flow, or giving to a front end. Migration is there, obviously, running and generating test case. There is a whole setup of CLI tools that can be set up. So this is how Playwright has been using, and this is being used right now in a very modern, like Claude is using, like all the AI editors are using this Playwright to get their APIs and UI get tested. So this is all from my side. Thank you for watching this video. If you like my video, do subscribe to my channel. All the information will be given below in the description of the video. Thank you so much.